Welcome. I am Sister Who. With me today is Imam Ibrahim Kazerooni, and we're talking about different things related to Islam. Wanted to start our discussion with misconceptions of the West of Islam. What we'd like to build into during this next half hour, though, just to at least scratch the surface, is toward the idea of a spiritually, religiously pluralistic world. We're living in a time where the world is moving much more toward a sort of global community, and presumably everyone's going to get to know people of different races, different nationalities, different religions. And there should be some way by which we can find collaborative mutual respect in that. One of the terms that always seems to come up, I suspect mostly because of how the media has presented it, is this term of jihad, which to the Western mindset, Europe, America, the type of thinking that pretty much has its roots in Europe, the translation is always holy war. But in one of our earlier discussions, or when we were talking the other day, you seem to think that idea does not exist within an Islamic mindset.
That's correct. It's if you remember the discussion we had about faith playing a major role in everything that Muslims do. Any act committed or done for the sake of God becomes holy.
Okay.
So there is no such definition as holy war per se in the Islamic terminology. Jihad itself has a root in Arabic that comes from jahada, or to struggle. Literally. Jihad means struggle.
And of course, anyone who goes anywhere near any form of spirituality is going to run head on into lots of struggles.
Exactly, and this is why in Islam, for example, in my context, or Islamic context, we have huge amount of literature. If you collect all the literatures that talk about jihad, close to half of the literature is exactly about that internal struggle that you were referring to.
But it is more internal than external.
No, half of the literature refers to the internal struggle.
Okay.
Yes, in the external there are instances or contexts in which that phrase is used to refer to struggle, a particular struggle. But it's not in the context of holy war that the Western media tries to portray.
Okay.
For example, from an Islamic point of view, a scholar who struggles to learn in the hope that one day he will endeavor to enlighten the community, and all this action is done for the sake of God, it becomes a holy struggle, and it's called jihad.
Is there such a thing as an external struggle that is truly able to be done in the name of God.
Everything that one does for the sake of God becomes of value and becomes jihad. And this is why the term jihad fi sabilillah, or struggle on the path of God, is normally used in our context.
But what I'm referring to is an act of violence against a person, a nation, an idea, an ideology. It's a phrase that's been tossed around too lightly in almost every instance in which it has, talking about God being on our side, referring to some form of usually military conflict. And I guess my question is there in fact any instance in which a struggle on behalf of God would be done in a military fashion?
No, it's not on behalf of God. There are instances in which what we call a struggle, violent struggle, becomes justifiable. Islam doesn't go even as far as the terminology used in most Christian circles of call it the just war. There is no such thing as the just war. There are sometimes, because for a society to remain balanced, you need plurality to work together. And if there are individuals or group of people that they try to impose their will on others, that destabilizes the community. You need a resistance or inertia to stop this kind of imposition of will by a group of individuals or a society on others. This has to be resisted.